There, everybody. I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to give up on something or quit on something, whether it's maybe a relationship, or your diet, or a workout regime, or a business, or a career, or even if you've ever had a frustrating moment as a parent and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking these horrible thoughts like my child is driving me crazy. Maybe I should just send them to boarding school. Well, if that's you, you're going to love today's live. This is my Bulletproof Monday, and today's topic is what to do when you feel like giving up. And I'm going to go through 5 key points, and I want to acknowledge you all for being here. If you don't know, Mondays at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, and so we like to accommodate UK, other time zones. I do Bulletproof Mondays, and on these Mondays, I'm talking about topics on productivity, how to organize your life. I'm talking about tech trends, and essentially, I'm talking about the mindset and tactics that entrepreneurs require in order to grow a sustainable business. So my name is Susan Sly. I'm an entrepreneur, a mother of 5, and I want to get right into the goods. Just a couple of quick announcements. So I just came back. I was in New Jersey over the weekend doing Empowered Women Unite with Lisa DeMeo, Kathy Savage, and Angela Maresca, and it was an amazing event. I am still vibrating from what transpired, and I think that we had a panel there in the afternoon, and there were women. One woman she was a dancer, Juilliard caliber, and her legs were crushed, and she almost lost her legs. And there she was in her hotel room, prospecting for clients for her business. And then another woman, her husband drowned in the ocean in front of their children, and she took over his construction business. And I can't stop thinking about the resolve of these women. And as I was praying, and on Sundays, I do Sold Out Sunday. What that means is I don't look at my phone. I go for a workout with my husband, and then we go to church, and then we do family dinner. And all day I kept thinking about these women, and I couldn't stop thinking about them. And as I was in church and praying and meditating on today's topic, it all just really came together. It's this thought, when you want to give up, what do you do? And so we're going to be talking about that. And my other announcement is my live event, Sales Nirvana, is coming up September 29th, and there are 31 tickets remaining. It's salesnirvana.com, and it's here in Phoenix. And that event is where I'm going to be teaching. I'm an NLP certified coach, and I'm also a trauma recovery specialist, and I have been helping people use self-coaching and persuasion techniques on themselves for years. I've also, as an athlete, used these techniques, and it's the same kind of thing that Tony Robbins uses from stage. It's neuro-linguistic programming. So I'm going to be teaching how to use these NLP skills to have better conversations, to connect with people more deeply. It's going to be amazing. We have realtors coming. We have tech people coming, people in network marketing coming. And my guest in the afternoon is Emmy award-winning actor Rael Andrews. And Rael is going to be teaching video strategies. And he's going to take what I've taught in the morning and show you how to bring NLP into your videos. And video is massive right now. Everyone needs to be doing some form of video to grow your business, and it's going to be incredible. Then I'm going to finish the day with an NLP breakthrough process to torch limiting beliefs like that. So if you want to torch your limiting beliefs, you want to grow your sales, and you really want to finish the year strong, I would highly recommend you get to that event. As I said, 31 tickets left. We will sell this event out this week. There's no question. All right, so with that, on Mondays, I always take notes, and I prepare my notes and I read the notes. So I wanted to start with these points about what to do when you feel like giving up. And it was so prolific today because a girlfriend of mine texted me, and she's like, I just wanted to text you and let you know that I've decided not to do something. And I text her back, and I said, you know what, I love you. I know God has a massive calling on your life for women. I'm here in your corner, and you know what, whenever you're ready, or if you need a sister or a sounding board, I'm here for you. And people do give up. And that's the reality. And then when you're in business, you're going to have employees give up on your company. They're going to quit. You're going to have be in a relationship where suddenly, someone decides that they don't want to be your friend anymore, or worst case, someone decides they don't want to be married to you anymore. You're going to see your kids give up. And as I was preparing this is always so profound. Of course, different things happened in the last 24 hours. My daughter, last night, I found out she decided to give up on speech and debate. She did her tryout, and she had sent a text to the head coach of the speech and debate team and said, my heart isn't in this. I don't want to do this. And she did it without telling me. So she quit on that. And she used to love the stage, and she was so gifted. And I remember one speech and debate tournament, she was there and she made the judges cry with her performance. And so in the last 24 hours, I have observed people give up. I have observed people quit. And so it's so perfect, because it's not just that I'm teaching you all this stuff, it's that I'm living it every single day. And one of the things, I am such a loyal person, and I am so determined, and I don't quit. I did the Ironman triathlon with a fractured pelvis, and I will tell you, it was so painful. If you can imagine having a lump essentially in your pelvis the size of a good, huge grapefruit, and the freezing coming out and the kind of pain I was in. But the thought of quitting and not getting that medal, I just couldn't fathom it. And then the 2014 Boston Marathon, I survived the Boston bombing. 2013, I crossed the finish line and did, get into my hotel safely. But, that was a very traumatic day. But the next year I went back, I was running a fever. I was not feeling good. I ended up in the medical tent somewhere around mile 13, I believe. And the thought of not getting that medal, and I had blood gushing down my leg, and I walked the last 8 miles. I have never walked 8 miles in a race before, but I was getting that medal. That's just the person I am. So if you're wondering, how are you qualified, Susan, to talk about not quitting? Whether it's business, I've been with the same network marketing company for 15 years. I've been with my husband for 18 years. Are there times when I think, oh my gosh, this is hard, I'm tired? Heck yeah. Are there times when I wonder, am I making the best decision? Yes. But do I give up? No. And that's what I want you to be. I want you to be bulletproof. I want you to be that person who succeeds in every level of your life. So let's talk about it and get right in. So the first thing is that people often give up before their victory. And yesterday, it was so funny because I was thinking about this topic, and our pastor at church, he was talking about this. So Ronald Wayne, do you know who he is? Does that name ring a bell? Ronald Wayne. So Ronald Wayne was one of the original co-founders of Apple, and he designed one of the first logos for the company. And he decided to give up and sell his stake in the company for $800. $800. If he had not given up, his shares today would be worth $60 billion. And I'm just going to allow that to sit with you for a moment. $60 billion. And maybe he had issues with, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, or whatever the case is. But there's a prime example of someone who maybe needed to get their ego in check, maybe needed to be a little more gracious, a little more forgiving, give a little more runway. And it's a massive difference between $800 and $60 billion. I mean, it's incredible. So write that down, please, if you're taking notes. People often give up before they have that victory. And, learning new things is challenging. And I see people give up all the time. I have a digital marketing agency, and we specialize in helping small business owners automate their business, have a bigger digital presence, everything from follow-up sequencing to onboarding new clients and customers. We automate all of this. And to learn it, yeah, it might take that person a few months, but here's the thing. I see people give up right before they get it. And then they end up in all this regret, looking at other people and going, oh, well, that could have been me. How many things do you quit on in your life, right? And right before the victory, right before you've been in a weight plateau and you drop the next 10 pounds, or right before, you are with the same company, and then you decide to go to another company or do something, and then suddenly the company you were with does all this great stuff, but there's no turning back for you. It happens. Do you know Tony Robbins in his book, Money Master the Game? And I have the privilege, not only have I done Tony's events, I get to do speaking events where Tony's also speaking, sharing the stage. And one of the things he looked at was people who put their money in index funds, like low fee index funds, versus people who did stocks. And historically, those people who were just very disciplined, saving even small amounts of money, putting them in low fee index funds, they actually made a lot more money on the stock market than even the day traders. And it was, you know, when I read that, I used to do a lot of day trading. It was prolific for me. And so just something to really contemplate, this whole concept of, you know, whether it's the stock market, we go in, we make some money, we lose a bunch of money, or maybe you bought Bitcoin too late, or whatever it is for you, that often we give up too soon. And that answer is often just so close. And I see this happen all the time. All right, the second point is people who quit tend to be listening to the wrong people. And I was saying on Saturday, I read this article once that on average, only 4 people cry at a funeral. You know, that's the average. So some people might have, 10, some people might have 0. It just depends on what kind of person you were or how many people are at your funeral. But I have this saying that goes like this: if someone isn't going to cry at my funeral, they don't earn an opinion to my life. They just don't earn the opinion. And so what I find is quitters are listening to the wrong people. So let's say they're, in network marketing, and they're listening to people who have never been in network marketing or never made money, or they decide to quit, and it's the influence from people who are not successful, right? Or decide to go to another company, and they're influenced by people who are saying, oh, it's so great over here, or whatever. But the reality is that those people aren't necessarily qualified. See, here's the thing. If I needed surgery on my leg, I would want to consult an orthopedic surgeon, not a dentist. I'm sorry. I know dentists, I know surgeons, but just because you understand the mouth and you went to dental, you have doctor in front of your first name, you had to do anatomy. My leg is my leg, right? And there are a lot of people out there that, whether it's their eating regime, their marriage, business, they're listening to all the wrong people. And I made a bold decision many years ago that I would only listen to people who had the following criteria. So if it's someone in my personal life, they have to know all the names of my children. If you don't know all the names of my children, no. And that person would have to be someone I would have at the dinner table with my children. And our closest people who are in the right to an opinion are the people who are there with us in the good times. It's really easy to be a fan of someone when things are going well, but also to be there with someone when things are really hard. And those relationships take time. In business, the only people I listen to are the people who are achieving ethically at a level I want to achieve in one of my companies. Those are the people I listen to. Everyone else, I'm sorry. You're giving me advice, and you've never started a company, and why would I listen to you? Sorry, I'm sure you're a really good person, but that's the reality. If I am going to go and bake a chocolate cake, I want to have a recipe from someone who's baked that cake first. Does this make sense, everyone? Just nod if it says yes, and in the chat say yes, because the reality is, just because someone says that something is better, or something you should do something, especially quit something, why do they earn an opinion? I don't know. When I was first getting serious about network marketing, my husband and I were out on a run. I will never forget this. We were on Central Avenue in Brockville, Ontario. We're running, and he was like, choose me or choose network marketing. He was really angry. And I said, no, I choose both. And I said to him, how long did it take you to become a chartered accountant? He said, 7 years. I said, great. Give me 7 years to become a network marketing professional. 7 years, right? Because if I was going to be successful and make a professional income, I needed to learn things. There were certain skills. And there's a lot of people, regardless of the industry, who are giving opinions who are not qualified. And people who quit tend to listen to the wrong people. The third thing is people who quit tend to focus on fear and not faith. And one of the best things I heard about fear and faith is this: people who focus on fear and faith are seeing a future that hasn't yet occurred. However, people who focus on fear see a future where they have defeat, versus people who have faith see a future where they have victory. And so people who quit focus on fear. What if I never make this go? What if I can't do this? What if my husband doesn't believe in me? What if this isn't successful? What if? And we had our Monday staff meeting here with our upper level staff here at the office, and video, obviously. And I said, I won't make any decision out of fear. I just won't. And I know the director of operations is watching this. I don't, and she'll tell you, I don't make any decision out of fear. I either can make a decision quickly, or if there's something that's not right, I need more information, because I want to make a decision that is logical and rational. And when we're in fear, we're not logical and we're not rational. And that's why even last night I was watching Prime Video. I was watching Jack Ryan because I, love the Tom Clancy books. And then all night I'm dreaming about like espionage and violence. I can't watch that stuff before bed, and I know I can't. I don't know why I did it. Maybe John Krasinski, I was like, hey, why not? I'll watch it, but I can't do it, right? Normally, if I'm going to watch anything, it's like HGTV before bed, because every story has a happy ending. I love that. Yes, they might find cockroaches, they might have the roof fall in, but there's always a happy ending. I love that. And so here's the thing. If you're thinking about quitting something, you're operating out of fear, not faith. And as an NLP certified coach, I would beg you to ask yourself this question: what if it actually could work? What if by staying the course, I actually was successful? What if the right people are going to show up that, to help me with this? Because the moment we go down that slippery slope of fear, that's when the quitting happens. That's when we give up, and that's when the regret happens. All right. The fourth thing is people who quit think the grass is greener on the other side. And, here's an interesting thing that I heard about this whole concept of the grass being greener on the other side. The grass is greener on the other side because it's AstroTurf, friends. It's not real grass. And I see it time and again. When I walk into someone's office, and I don't know if the woman in the picture is their daughter or their wife, that's a question. Hey, is it because your first wife, you burned out your marriage? I was at a tech meeting last week, and it was like a tech mixer at this beautiful home on Camelback Mountain. And, I was having some different discussions, and they were like, oh, you're a speaker. What do you speak on? I said, work-life balance. I believe we can have it all. And they're like, where were you when my wife wouldn't talk to me because I was doing my tech startup and I was working 90 hours a week and I never saw my kids. My kids don't talk to me now. I'm on my second marriage. I have all these little kids. Can you imagine? That person quit on their marriage. They quit on their family because, they thought the grass was greener. If I just keep working more, I'll get this and they'll be here when I'm done. Or, I forget it, I'll just get married again, new relationship. And then they suddenly find themselves going through all the same problems they did in their first marriage. I mean, give me a break. And I know I'm being very direct right now. I do read all of your comments, but if you're thinking about leaving your company or you're thinking about leaving a relationship, if there's abuse, you need to leave. Okay. If there's infidelity, that's a whole other conversation. But the reality is a lot of people quit and give up because this concept, the grass is greener because it's fake grass. That's what I have to say about that one. And the fifth point about quitting is that people who quit and give up, they usually spend a lot of time in regret. And often I see it as an NLP coach is this person is running a program that essentially says feeling bad is something they're so used to that even when things are going good, they sabotage themselves so they can just feel bad all of the time. And people who quit, there's a part of them that feels they should live in regret. And maybe you're one of those people. But here's the thing I want to finish with. You are divinely created, and you are not destined for fear, for anxiety, for regret. You're destined for greatness. I tell my kids every single night, you have greatness inside you. You can be be, do, and have anything you dream. And the reality is you can all be, do, and have anything you dream, but you're not going to get there if you quit. Roger Bannister did not quit on his goal of breaking the 4-minute mile. Sir Edmund Hillary, the first time they went to Everest, a lot of people died, but he got it on the second time. The list goes on and on of all of the people who've broken any single barrier. They did not give up. I was watching the US Open from Newark, and I was watching the match with Serena Williams, and right up until the end, she was defending her position. And yes, she came in second and she fought hard, but she was not going to quit. She wasn't just going to walk away because she believes so strongly. And some of the things you want to quit on, you need to stand up. You need to be bold. You have to ask yourself, how can I make this situation better? How can I contribute to it? How can I do something that is going to be for the greater good? Because there are a lot of people that have been used throughout history that were going to be quitters that ended up being victors. In fact, I know not everyone is a Christian. I'm a Christian. I love God, and I grew up in a Buddhist Jewish Christian household. Most of the New Testament was written by a quitter. Paul, the Apostle Paul, who wrote most of it, he was Saul. He was a quitter. He was giving up. He went blind. And look, for 2,000 years, people have been reading his words. I mean, seriously, so many things have been achieved by people who thought they were going to quit, and then they got the resolve. And whatever it takes for you to get your resolve, stay in the game, don't quit, because quitting is the seduction, and you are never going to be the man or woman you were destined to be if you give up. So that is my message today. If this has been helpful to you, I would invite you to share it and comment on it. I do read all of your comments. If you have a topic that you would like to have on Bulletproof Monday, do go ahead and go to my website, susansly.com. You can send us a message. We also have a chat bot there, so you can put a message through there if you've got a topic. But hopefully this has been helpful. I love you guys. Don't quit. Don't give up. Stay the course. And I can promise you that you're going to learn more by that resolve you have in the gap than you will when things are going easy. So with that, God bless. I love you, and I will see you next Monday.